So today I'm going to go over my love language and my partner's love language and how we transitioned from a regular relationship to a long distance relationship. I did a video a while back about the love languages, and I said I would do one later on about my love language and my partner's love language. So here it is. Disclaimer, not everyone is going to have the same levels of communication, and just because you have different levels of communication from a different couple doesn't mean that your relationship is bad or is wrong. I know that me and my partner talk a lot to each other. We spend a lot of time together and we call each other a lot. So just don't hear this and think that you're doing something wrong in your relationship. Every relationship is different. So my love language is 33% quality time, 23% physical touch, 23% acts of service, 13% words of affirmation, and 17% receiving gifts. And his love language is 33% physical touch, 30% quality time, 17% acts of service, 13% words of affirmation, and 7% gifts. So seeing that both of our love languages are pretty much the same apart from the physical touch and quality time, it really allows us to assume that the other is kind of feeling how we're feeling in a sense. You can't do that in all relationships, but luckily we can do it in ours. Basically, I can treat him how I want to be treated, and it's going to be more than likely well received since he is also looking for the same things that I'm looking for. For example, if we had love languages that were vastly different, if he liked receiving gifts, if that was above his quality time, I might have to do more of that to make him feel loved and appreciated. But since it's not, it's really easy for us to communicate how we're feeling and to guess what the other person would like to have at a certain time. For example, if we're trying to figure out what we want to do for that day and my partner wants to go out and he's talking about, things that we could do and listing up all the stuff that we could do, if I roll over, I'm like, no, I just want to stay in bed today and watch TV, have some pizza, he's usually going to be cool with that too and be just as happy doing that as well. And vice versa. If he wants to stay in bed and then I recommend that we go out and do something, he's also super down to get up and do it too. So it's just really cool to be aware of your partner's love language so that you can know and gauge the likelihood of them being interested in what you're interested in the exact same time that you're interested in doing it, if that makes any sense. So before we were in a LDR, to accommodate both of our love languages, we would see each other every weekend. Every weekend we'd stay with each other. I'm in school and he's working. So when I wouldn't have school and he didn't have work, we would see each other. I'd stay at his spot or he'd stay at my spot. We'd also sometimes see each other throughout the week if we had time. We had plenty of stay-in days as well as date days. We probably had just as many dates as we did days that we just stayed in and did nothing. Maybe played board games, had some pizza, ate some wings, watched Netflix, and went to sleep. We really tried to explore new places every single time we went out. Yeah, there were some places that we went to over and over again, that we were regulars at, but we also went to a few new spots that either of us had never been before. I'll insert some videos too. We really tried to kind of make a memory every time we went out. I think that we really cherished the time that we had together when we weren't in a long distance relationship. So it's hard to say that I wish that we knew what we had before we became long distance, because I think we did. So when we transitioned to long distance, especially with Corona, a lot of people were forced to be long distance. We now call each other every single morning and every single night. I know that sounds like a lot, but he's the first person I see in the morning and the last person I see before I go to bed. Aww. Yeah, I know. We watch a show together or a movie maybe 3 to 4 times a week. Every once in a while we'll do something different where we'll make dinner at the same time, or we'll eat dinner or breakfast at the same time and we'll have a breakfast date or dinner date or whatever. But that happens a little bit less often. Also, because we're in a long distance relationship, we've also sort of non-verbally just decided to send each other a lot more gifts and things in the mail. I've written him letters before and he's sent my family some gifts before. Nothing that we've actually talked about really doing, but we kind of felt like we wanted to supplement the lack of physical touch, the lack of quality time, the lack of being there in person with other things to show that we're still interested and that we still love and care about that person. So I would get DoorDash in the mail a bunch of times from him and he would get letters from me and some DoorDash, and we both get each other gifts and stuff like that. Even though that might not be that person's main love language, it's still better than nothing, and they'll still appreciate that you're thinking about them in some way. being in a long distance relationship definitely isn't for everyone, and it takes a lot out of you. But if you're with the right person, you won't question the relationship because it's long distance. It'll just drive you to be with that person more. So hopefully this was helpful for others that are in a long distance relationship and that have quality time and physical touch as a love language. Maybe this gave you some ideas. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to talk about. Like and subscribe if you like this video, and I'll see you next time.